What we've done in Dallas is we partnered with the city of Dallas and the mayor essentially gave us the city block that's right next door to City Hall, and it's a parking lot. It's really underutilized, icky parking lot. And it just became apparent that that block was like a missing tooth on a smile. That if only someone would come along and nurture that and care for it, that it could start to be a catalyst for connecting the City Hall district to the other surrounding neighborhoods and starting to fix a lot of problems. If only someone would come along and plant that one seed, that it would encourage other development and other activity. So what we did was we held a workshop with all the stakeholders and department heads and different agencies involved, and we had them come together and we locked them in a room for 2 days. And we had them define what this block should be and what the parameters should be. And then we held an international design competition and received entries from all over the world. Hundreds of entries came in, and then we had a jury competition with very esteemed, distinguished, smart jurors. And they selected 3 winners, and of that, one of those 3 will end up getting built, like for real. And that's what we're doing. That's what Urban Revision does. And we essentially go from city to city and then conduct that process. So what we're doing is not theoretical. It's not it's not academic. It's a real transformative process of taking cities, showing them how to build fully sustainable, net zero energy, net water energy, and net zero water blocks, and really transform them into districts. And what they're doing now is the city of Dallas is going to make our block and the neighborhood around it into what they're calling a green district, to incentivize other developers to come in and follow suit.
Mm-hmm. So, is a lot of what's going on is that we need leaders to show us what can be done? Is it just a lack of creativity in the industry, really?
No, I think there's lots of creativity. I think we have a lot of ideas. I think the real problem is this defeatist attitude that we're finding, and we're finding it prevalent throughout the country. What typically happens is you go to somebody and they have lots of ideas, but they say, oh, you'll never get that passed, or that'll never fly, and nobody will ever approve it. The purpose of the workshops and what we saw in Dallas and what we're seeing in other cities is that when we get everybody together in a room, if somebody stands up and says, you know what, that's a great idea, but this department will never approve it. Well, the guy from that department stands up and he goes, yeah, I will, sure I will. We get them to start to talk and make consensus, and we get everybody to change their viewpoint. Rather than a defeatist attitude and a bureaucratic attitude, we get them to a much more collaborative idea, where if we're all working towards a shared vision, then suddenly a lot of this red tape and a lot of these roadblocks start to vanish.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel this model that you're developing is replicable around the country?
We designed it specifically to be replicable around every city. And what we're seeing is that we can even kind of tweak it to fit different scales of cities. So everything from a small town up to a place like Dallas.